Will the city lay down the law on Thursday as they promised? Or will they get another 4-day extension or even longer? And if they do comply, what does it mean in this whack-a-mole system we got here in Toronto? Does it mean they just have to find another park? David Menzies for Rebel News here at Dufferin Grove Park in Toronto. And folks, before I get to an update on this story, please, if you can, go to journalistdefensefund.com and make a contribution. As you know, we love to bring you the other side of the story, but the fact remains, unfortunately, there are forces afoot that want to prevent us from doing so, and sometimes we need to hire security in order to practice journalism safely. And such is the case today. I can tell you behind me is the tent city. It is an autonomous zone / sacred circle. It started back in June in Nathan Phillips Square, where members of the Afro-Indigenous Rising camped out. They had just one little demand, really, of the city. Abolish, yeah, that's right, abolish, not defund, the police department. Their presence was tolerated at Nathan Phillips Square for precisely 3 weeks, at which point the city finally manned up and got these thugs off the square. And I'm not exaggerating when I use that word, folks. Check out one of our visits to the square and see how we were treated simply for practicing journalism in front of City Hall.
We're at City Hall.
What are you doing here?
We're at City Hall. It's public property. Don't touch them.
Touch me. Don't touch me. Don't do that, bro. Get out of our cabinet. Why are you here? Why are you here? You're not welcome.
We're just coming.
Interviewing, bro.
Yeah. Yo, don't touch him, man.
So as a result of our media exposure, and by the way, folks, you don't see much media coverage of this. It's not part of their narrative, or secretly the media is cheering on these kinds of anarchists and Marxists. In any event, because of our media coverage of what happened in Nathan Phillips Square, the city issued a trespass notice. They were violating 11 sections of the act. They were given 72 hours to leave. Lo and behold, when the deadline came, they were given an additional 4-day extension in which to leave, and finally they did. But when they left, you see, the thing about Toronto these days, folks, under Mayor John Tory, when it comes to tent cities, it's like a game of whack-a-mole. They left Nathan Phillips Square, and here they are at Dufferin Grove Park. Now, we came here last Friday, you may recall, and we ran into a hostile reception by some of the allies of these squatters, namely the local Champagne socialist community, who apparently like to drive late-model Mercedes-Benz vehicles. Check it out. Boy, there's a lot of angry people driving Mercedes down here today.
Get out of here.
The horn's working.
News isn't news. Get out
Have
of
you
here.
Have you tried the headlights?
Get lost.
Huh? What?
Go.
Oh, we're on a public sidewalk,
go,
sir.
Go. Rebel News?
Yeah.
Gone.
Why is that, sir? We're on a public sidewalk.
Bunch of racist pieces of garbage.
Oh, that's a nice Mercedes. AMG, I'm impressed. Well, after that video aired, can you imagine? The city of Toronto issued trespass notices. 20 city employees came to deliver them because there is safety in numbers. You need numbers when you're dealing with these violent people. And once again, they were given 72 hours to comply, which would be Thursday. Now, will they comply? And that is a big question. There's certainly no signs of an evacuation going on right now. And it's a very interesting dynamic, this tent city, which is wanting the abolishment of the police. There's a very George Orwellian Animal Farm vibe going on here. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. You've got the ringleaders, who we proved were actually staying at the Sheraton Hotel, where rooms start at $277 per night. Isn't that special? And then you've got, well, basically the rank and file. These are homeless people. These are mentally ill people. These are drug addicts. They're just happy to be part of a community, any community. And these are indeed the pawns you find in these little tents here in the Sacred Circle at Dufferin Grove Park. And then, like I said, you have the Champagne Socialists. This is the money behind this, because as we showed, this group has raised more than $49,000 through a GoFundMe page, and presumably that came out of the pockets of wealthy social justice warriors. I just wonder if they think they're getting their money's worth, given that these people aren't using that dough to advance the cause of racial justice, but rather to stay at swank downtown properties. In any event, that is the situation here. They continue to make Dufferin Grove Park, at least the part they're occupying, a bit of a hellhole and a no-go zone. And will the city lay down the law on Thursday as they promised? Or will they get another 4-day extension or even longer? And if they do comply, what does it mean in this whack-a-mole system we got here in Toronto? Does it mean they just have to find another park? Well, I can tell you, just 5 kilometers to the west, maybe that's their next destination, High Park. That's one of Toronto's biggest parks. And you may recall High Park because back in May, this was the park that John Tory walled off to tax-paying citizens with a post-World War II Berlin-style wall patrolled with the the police, to make sure nobody had the temerity to break social distancing laws and sniff the cherry blossoms. I'm not making this up, folks. You might remember our visit there as well.
Put up that sign, sir?
Pardon me?
You put up this sign?
We did, yes,
Okay,
sir.
yeah, you just
It
have to
says,
take it down.
Mr. Mayor, tear down this wall, like Ronald Reagan said back in 1987 in East Berlin. Isn't that beautiful? We're standing up for our freedom, officer.
I'm just going to have to take down the sign, okay?
Oh, don't you believe in freedom of speech, freedom of expression?
I'm just going to pull out a knife and just take down the sign, sir.
Oh, pull out a knife.
You have a pair of scissors or anything to cut the...
I don't know.
Okay, if you can just step back, sir, I don't want...
Power to the people.
just want you
You
to...
don't want to stab me. Okay, then. Officer, your colleagues can tell me what law is closing the King's Highway to taxpayers. Can you tell me that? So that's the way we roll here in John Tory's sanctuary city. It is to penalize the makers and give to the takers. Indeed. Welcome to John Tory's Toronto, or as they perhaps should rename this place now, Toronto. It is truly a disgrace. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Well, folks, bringing you the other side of the story does not come cheap. Sometimes we need security in order to bring you the other side of the story, because there are forces afoot that don't want us to bring you the other side of the story. If you can, please go to journalistdefensefund.com. That's journalistdefensefund.com and make a donation.